Oh my goodness. Happy New Year to everyone. It is so amazing to be back, to be here once again, bringing my coaching on live stream online. This brings me back to the memories of when the pandemic hit, and I had to kind of like just shift and pivot and make quick decisions and take immediate action to continue doing what at that moment I was doing. But today is going to be something totally different. Today, we are taking this to a much higher level. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Whether you are going to be watching this live, we are broadcasting on different platforms right now, or whether you're going to catch the replay. I just want you to know that this is going to be not just a training, this is going to be an experience. This is going to be something that is what I'm calling T3, the transformational three, T3, all out. And let's go ahead and get this party started. We are right on time. For those of you that are watching now or maybe later, if you want to share with someone that doesn't speak English, but they're in the real estate industry, I'm also doing this coaching in Spanish, en español, at 1:30 p.m. But for now, we are going to bring this to you in English for all my real estate agent community that speaks English. It is so amazing to be able to be here with you today. And one of the things that I want to tell you is that you got to watch this over and over. You know, we don't learn anything just by watching it once. As a matter of fact, it's scientifically proven that we only retain about 10% of what we see, hear, and write, right? So you want to watch this over and over. And today I just took the plunge. I took the plunge. I want you to know that I'm going to be teaching you what I'm doing. I'm going to be teaching you from my own experience. That's why I decided to call my new coaching platform Experience Coaching, because let's be real. A lot of people teach from what they have learned from other people, right? Or a lot of people teach from what they have read from other people. Or there's great coaches out there that have never really lived out what they're teaching, but they've learned it. You know, they've learned it, they've studied it, and so they teach it. Well, guess what? This is my life. This is not only what I've learned, what I've studied, this is what I do. So I want to go ahead and do a little housekeeping first. So if you are watching, please hit share. Please hit share and help me. I am going to be vulnerable with you along this journey and ask you to please help me to help you and to help others. Help me to help you and to help others by sharing this content, sharing this information, because it's really going to be transformational. It's going to be totally transformational to every real estate agent that is able to connect with us. And there's going to be moments where I'm going to tell you, you want to write this down. So have your pen and paper ready. And so I'm going to ask my behind the scenes here crew to let me know if everything is coming out, if you can hear me okay. If you can hear me okay, if you guys can hear me okay, go ahead and put in the chat a number 1 so that I can get your feedback. If you can hear me okay, put number 1. If you can hear me and see me okay, hit number 1. If you see that we are sharing this and it is public, go ahead and give me a number 2. So help me to help you and to help others. Thank you so much. I start seeing the ones coming in. Thank you. Thank you. And again, I don't expect that everybody's going to join us. This is the very first one. As a matter of fact, I have to be honest with you. I've been preparing for this day since December 4th when I made a decision. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about. So I'm going to lay down the framework for you the same way that the framework is being laid down for me. So this is experience coaching. I made a decision to take my life, my mission, my purpose to not just the next level, to the ultimate level. How many of you want to reach an ultimate level? If you want to reach an ultimate level, whether you're watching now or on the replay, go ahead and say me. Someone says I cannot share. I don't know. Maybe you're watching from one of the groups. So if you're watching from one of the Facebook groups, you may not be able to share, but you can jump onto my personal profile where it should be public. If I can get a private message here, let's see. I'm telling you guys, we're doing this all out. And we are just giving it 110%. So if Jessica can tell me if this is coming out public on my profile, if somebody can tell me, Brianna, Irma, somebody tell me if you are watching this public on my profile, then people can go there and they can share it from there. So anyway, guys, I just want you to know that this time I've got a crew. This time I'm not an expert at this, but I have the experience. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Number one, you want to write this down. Number one, the most amazing, important, out of this world thing that's going to help you really. And here's who I want to be speaking to today. I want to be speaking to the real estate agents in the industry that are hungry for growth. Number one, are you hungry for growth? Are you really, really, really hungry, starving? Are you hungry enough that you're willing to sacrifice? Like, I made a decision on December 4th that I was sick and tired of playing small or playing what maybe I thought was big, but I really knew deep inside I could go bigger. I could go higher. I could go wider. And all this that I'm going to share with you came from that decision. So write this down. The first thing that you need to do is make a decision. You need to make a decision, and you need to do, let me write this here. Okay. We're going to have a little hiccups today, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're here. Number one, you have to make a decision. So on December 4th, I made a decision to give myself permission. I made a decision to give myself permission and to be able to grow, to be able to grow to heights that I had not reached before, to go to heights that I had not experienced before. So you're writing this down. Here's what you want to write down. What will it take for me to give myself permission? What will it take for me to give myself permission to get out of my comfort zone? You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to push yourself beyond your own limits. So I decided to do that on December 4th. And that's why I am calling this coaching a T3 coaching, because you know what? Who wants to keep listening to the same old peanut butter and jelly trainings about these are the calls you make and these are the people you talk to and this is how you when you convert a lead? Let me tell you, when you decide, when you are ready to come out of your comfort zone, when you are ready to really take your life to the ultimate level, you are going to appear in a different way. So I'm telling you this to tell you that the first thing you must do is make a decision. Make a decision. You have to make a decision to give yourself permission. And this is what this is going to look like. It's going to look like, I'm going to make the decision. Something is going to bring me to the point, and I'm going to ask Jessica. I haven't received anything regarding if this is going public. So help me out here. Stay connected with me, people. Stay connected with me. I need all your full support today. This is our first one, so the world stops, and this is all that matters. The people that are connected with us here today, that are either watching live or that are going to be hitting the replay. So we're going to do our very best to make this amazing. But let me get back to the experience coaching and the productivity academy and why you want to watch this again. The number one thing you need to do is make a decision. You have to make a decision to give yourself permission to go to that next level, permission to push yourself beyond your limits. So what are your limits? Let me ask you, what are your limits? Write down and think about some things. And for those of you that are commenting, go ahead and write down, what are some of your limits? I'll kick you off. I'll kick it off for you. Fear. Fear is one of our biggest limitations. Fear is one of the biggest limitations. So if you're watching, put on the chat, what would you think is one of the biggest limitations that we face? And I'll kick it off by saying fear, fear of the unknown, fear of the uncertainty, fear of I've never done this before and what if, and then our mind starts to tell us all the crazy things that could go wrong, that from I can't, I can't do it right, somebody's going to criticize me. So fear is one of the biggest um, roadblocks that we face. And so what is another one of those roadblocks that we face? Doubt, doubting ourselves. Doubting ourselves. Objections. Good. Thank you so much. I love it. Come on, guys, get interactive with me on Facebook. I love this. And if you're watching later, write down your comments. This is not just about me. This is about us. This is about us building a tribe of trust. And that, hey, you know what? Lucy's going to share her experience coaching online so that we can learn. But I'm going to share it with other people as well, because they say that it's lonely at the top. Well, no, it's only lonely at the top if you don't bring people with you. And if you know anything about me, I like to be around people. I like to inspire, motivate, encourage. I think that I am an encourager by design. My DNA is to encourage people, including myself. So I had to make that decision. And then you need to recognize what are your roadblocks. So fear, we have objections, we have doubt, we have time. Oh, I don't have the time. I don't have the time to do this. I don't have the time to do that. I don't have the time to do the things that I need to get done. And here's where I'm leading you to. Here's where I'm taking you in my speaking to you today about the foundation to you hitting a six-figure income, because that's who I want to talk to. I want to talk to the agents that are, willing, ready, and hungry to reach a six-figure earning income. If that's you, I want you to give me a number 2 on this chat, or say that's me. I am willing, ready, and hungry to hit a six-figure income, not because of the money, but because of who you will become on the way to making the money. So thank you. So fear of rejection. Yes, they're going to say no. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you this. I'm going to go so slow. I'm not in a hurry to deliver a whole bunch of information, because guys, this is not just another training. I am committed. I am committed. This is my sacred commitment to you, that I am going to take you slow through this journey, because I want you to get it. I even wrote something down today. Um, I want you to get it to the point that you can implement it. I want to educate you to the point of you understanding what I'm saying, because we go to so many trainings and we hear so many people say, a whole bunch of stuff, but what do we really walk away with? Well, today you're going to walk away with the first step to you blowing 2022 out of the ballpark. And as a matter of fact, whether you're in real estate, whether you're in any other business, whether you're a leader, whether you are someone that has aspirations, the first thing is you got to make a decision. You got to make a decision to face the things that are in your way. And you and I know there are things that are in our way. We've had someone say mindset. They say that we become like the 5 people we hang around with. Who are we hanging around with? Who speaks into our life? Because one of the things that I'm determined to do, and I come on here Wednesdays at noon, and as a matter of fact, I told my staff, I said, you got to hold me accountable. If I ever say I don't want to do this, you got to push me. I give you permission to push me, because I have to come from a place of, being the best student that I can be as well. I mean, how hypocritical would it be for me to come here and talk to you about what you need to do, and I don't put myself right in the same position? So guys, the decision, it all begins with the decision. What do you need to face? What do you need to be willing to call a thing for you to make that decision? To really have a transformational decision and say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like, I'm tired of thinking about doing it and never getting it done. I'm tired of dreaming about what my life could be like, but never getting there. I'm tired of living paycheck to paycheck. I'm tired of hanging around with broke, busted, and disgusted people that all they do is complain about the industry. Oh, real estate is so hard. Oh, this is so difficult. Oh, that. Don't tell me what I already know. Tell me how I can overcome the obstacles. And that's why it's so important that you make this decision, because once you make the decision of making 2022, the ultimate year in your business, the ultimate year in your life, the ultimate year in your mindset, the ultimate year where you will literally push yourself to your limits. What are your limits? What's holding you back? What's holding you back? Why aren't you where you know you could be? And you know what? I'm going to tell you some of the things that I wrote down. Maybe not all of them, but I want to share this journey with you, because 2022 is about growing beyond our limitations. Write that down. 2022 is about me growing beyond my limitations. Procrastination, yes. So we got to walk aware of what are the things that are holding me back, because 2022 must be the year where you grow beyond your limitations. What are your limitations? Fear, doubt, procrastination, bad choice management. One of my coaches says we don't have a time management issue, we have a choice management issue. What are you supposed to be doing when you're supposed to be doing it? He even says it this way. He says, stop being a squirrel hunter. I'm like, oh my God, stop being a squirrel hunter. It's like everything that moves is and it's hard, but you have to walk aware. One of the things that I had to decide to do, one of the things that I had to make a decision when I gave myself permission to really push myself beyond the limits. Write this down. I am ready, willing, and hungry to push myself beyond the limits. I am ready, willing, and hungry. You got to be ready, you got to be willing, and you got to be hungry. And everybody says they want it. Everybody says, oh, I'm going to get into real estate because I want to make a lot of money. But then we have 95% of the people walking around, right, with maybe less than 10 transactions a year. Like, why? Why? And listen, if you're beyond 10 transactions, then my question is, what do you need to do to get to 50 transactions? And if you're at 50, let me tell you about some of the friends that I'm hanging around with that are closing, 1,000, 500, 700 transactions. Let me tell you about the moms that I sit around with and I learn from that have 4 kids and close 125 transactions. Let me tell you what they say. Because sometimes we don't realize that we are limiting ourselves by our environment, which is the second thing I want you to look at. Your environment. I made a decision, was number one. And the second thing was I started to watch, observe, study, and dissect my environment. What was the environment I had put myself in? What was that environment like? Who were the people surrounding me? Were they, sucking the life out of me? Were they the naysayers? Were they the complainers? Oh my goodness, watch out for the complainers. Were they the blame shifters? Oh my God, it's everybody else's fault but them. Let me tell you something. One of the biggest things that I learned in these last 2 days is the worst habit. Write this down. Write this down. I'm going to give it to you just like I got it straight from my coach. I made a huge decision, a huge commitment. I'm sticking to it because I don't have a choice. I'm only going to get to live this life once. I don't know how many times you think you're going to live this life, but as far as I know, we only get one shot. And I want to leave it all on the field. I want to exit this hemisphere having done everything that I possibly could, right? Even though I did it scared. Like today. I mean, today I was literally nervous Do I do it? Do I not do it? Do I do it? Do I wait till next week? No, maybe next week I'll be more prepared. Hey, am I talking to you? If I'm talking to you, write down a 3 here. If I'm talking to you, no, I'm going to do it next week because today I'm not as prepared, but next week I'm going to be more prepared. So let me push it back another week. But no, my decision had been, here we go. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you, everyone. And you know why you should, when you take the step to write down a number, you're making a public declaration that you have understood the message and it is going from your head to your heart. Because a lot of real estate coaching and training and what people call teaching stays in the head, it never hits the heart. You never have that aha moment. So I was this morning, 5 in the morning. Oh my goodness. I found all the reasons. I found all the whys. I found every way out that I could find not to be doing this today. But I couldn't be a hypocrite. I had made a decision on December 4th. I had made a decision that went from my head to my heart. And I said, why am I playing so small? Why am I allowing the uncertainties inside of me, the dread inside of me, the burnout inside of me, the people that I've surrounded myself with that have literally just sucked the life out of me because they don't want to go nowhere. So all they do is blame and complain and remain and then they get so frustrated they don't show up and now they say they're gonna do it, but they don't do it. So that energy, I was like, no, that is not the energy I want. So I made a decision. Guys, that's why making the decision and writing it down and commenting proves that it's going from the head to the heart. Don't leave all the knowledge in your head. You got to help it sink to the heart. The second thing that I did, which is super important, guys, is your environment. What is your environment adding to your life? Is your environment enriching your life? Is your environment conducive to you being the best that you can be? Is your environment, when I talk about environment, it's everything from home to out in the community and everything in between. And so when I started analyzing my environment, did I have a place where I could come in and study at home? Because if I'm going to be a great teacher, I've got to be an excellent student. You want to write that down. If I want to be an excellent teacher, if I want to be a great teacher, I have to be an excellent student. Same goes for you. How good of a student are you? Are you coachable? Most people say yes until you put their feet to the fire. Once you put their feet to the fire, the blame shifting kicks in. Guys, I learned it this morning. I never heard it this way. The worst habit, the worst habit that humans have is blame shifting. It's everybody's fault. The market is bad. The buyers are bad. The sellers are bad. There's no inventory. The leads are no good. The people don't answer the phone. People are going ghost on you. This is difficult. It's the pandemic. It's the corona. It's the Omicron or whatever it's called. It's the Delta. When you hear people speak, you can quickly pick up if they are in the bad habit of blame shifting. No, you know what? I've been in real estate for over 20 years, and every year, including the worst years of the economy, between 2008 and 2012, the top producers were still producing at the top. You know why? Because they did what they needed to do. They exercised discipline, they exercised commitment, they exercised consistency. So there's no sense in me talking to you about anything else. We don't need to talk past the subject that has not been executed on yet until we start seeing the execution. So putting myself in the student seat this morning, I was ready to talk myself out of doing this first, my very first of the year, experience coaching productivity academy, because we're going to talk about productivity. We're not here to talk about the Mickey Mouse Club or anything that doesn't have to do with IPAs, income producing activity. What is income producing activity? And you know what the best part is? The best part is that when you show up And that's the third thing I want to talk to you about. How are you showing up? You know, how are you showing up? When you show up, what happens? Does the atmosphere change? When you show up, who are you leading other people, encouraging other people? Are you making a statement when you show up? When you show up, what happens to the atmosphere? How are you showing up in your business? How are you showing up at the office? How are you showing up wherever you work from? It doesn't matter, because now the world, after this crazy pandemic, who would have thought that I would be doing once again what I started doing out of desperation, April of 2020, April 1st, I think it was, of 2020, because the pandemic had hit and I had opened up my real estate and business academy. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to stop. I'm going to shift. I'm going to pivot. I'm going to reinvent myself, but I'm not going to stop. But then sooner or later, right? I didn't really understand, but now I understand looking back. I was in preparation mode. And now here we are. And now there's no looking back. There's no turning back. That is the power of a decision. Now I understood that I was preparing back then for what I am doing now, except now it's at another level. Now it's more intense. Now it's more purposeful. Now it's more intentional. Now it's got a bigger passion behind it, because this is my experience and I'm giving it to you guys to implement in your real estate business. Am I speaking to six-figure earners? Give me a number one. Give me a number one if I'm speaking to six-figure future or current or six-figure earners, because that's what we need to be earning, especially in this market, especially with the technology we have, especially with the opportunities that we have. So I had to make a list of what I needed to do to give myself permission to make that decision. First thing was make a decision to give myself permission. Like, what are the things that are holding you back? That's one of the biggest questions that I ask you. What is one of those things that are holding you back? Fear, doubt, procrastination, the wrong mindset, hanging around with the wrong people, not having someone to lead, guide, and direct you. Guys, we all need a coach. We all need someone that has been there and done that. There is no, you hear people say, oh, I'm self made. That's not true. You're just ungrateful. Somebody gave you the time of day. Somebody gave you a hand. Somebody had to listen. There ain't nobody self made. Now, yes, you've got to walk the path on your own, but anybody that says, I did this all on my own, ain't nobody helped me, I'm a self made whatever, you're just being ungrateful. Because if you think back, someone gave you a hand, someone opened the door. Yes, they opened the door, you had to walk through it and then do all the work. Yeah, of course. But still, someone opened the door. So that environment, who's speaking life into you? Who's speaking life into your business? Who is telling you the things that you don't see that you're doing that are sabotaging you? Let me tell you, I had a coach, my teacher, my friend, my mentor. He'll always be in my stories because I hung out with him for 20 years. And I would always tell him, I don't want to wait 40 years to be where you're at. He says, don't worry. If you do what I tell you, you won't have to wait 40 years. The guy was tough on me. So you know what? People, that's why I say, are you willing? Are you ready? Are you hungry? Because when your feet get put to the fire, and my coach, John Cheplack, he says it this way: the highest level of love that a broker can show his or her agents is accountability. And I didn't understand that until recently, till I ended up with a huge big mess that I had created. And so, because I had already learned the lesson of don't blame shift, own it, take the responsibility, own it. Yeah, I had to face the music and say, you know what? I created this. And this is not what I want. So what have you created that you don't want? Because that's what's going to help you decide the changes you need to make. So you need to give yourself permission. And I said, and I need to stop limiting myself. Why do I limit myself? And then I had to go deeper. Lucy, why do you limit yourself? Knowing that you can do more, why do you limit yourself? It's all fear based. It's all limiting thoughts, limiting beliefs. What are the limiting beliefs that you and I have about ourselves? It takes some deep digging. It takes some hardcore conversations with ourselves. Um, and as soon as I made the decision, and that's why I want you to take this today and tomorrow and watch this again. You need to sit with pen and paper, and you need to, you know, journal. What are the things that I believe about myself, and what are the things that I don't believe about myself? I'm not confident. Okay, let's talk about that. You're not confident. What would make you confident? Well, I would be more confident if I knew how to, somebody had written down, handle objections. Okay, so let's study that. So, what do you need to do to grow in confidence of knowing what to respond to people when they give you objections? And here's something that I've been applying for the last 90 days, because I've actually been, now that I look back, the student within me got ready 90 days ago, and I started seeking, and then the teacher appeared on December 4th, and then I was ready. I said, okay, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to put everything that I've known up to now aside, and I'm opening up because I want to learn how to go to that next dimension. It's not even a level, it's a next dimension. And then since then I've been doing the hard work, the deep digging, the confronting myself. So what is it that you're afraid of? So why are you like this, and why are you not reaching for that, and why are you stopping, and why are you not going, and what does it look like, and what's really behind it, and where does it come from? And so be aware of these thoughts, these limiting beliefs. What are some of the limiting beliefs that we have about each other, about ourselves? We all have limiting beliefs. So I made a list of the things that I needed to stop doing, and I made a list of the things that I needed to start doing. And that's where the decision receives the fuel that it needs to carry you forth. So again, today, in this first training of the year, this first coaching experience coaching of the year, which is my version of my productivity academy, how do you get to live the ultimate life in real estate? How do you get to become the ultimate performer in real estate? How do you get to become the ultimate leader in your community? How do you get to become the ultimate role model in your industry? Make a decision. Make a decision and back it up with, what are the things that I need to stop doing? Stop doing that. Stop. Don't continue to feed that monster within. Because in reality, there's two sides to us, guys. We have a monster within, and then we have a genius within. What are you doing to feed the genius within? It all begins with a decision. If you're like me, on December 4th, uh, I didn't even want to hit the start button because I didn't want to go back to doing what I had been doing the way I had been doing it. And I was like, nope, nope, I'm not going. I'm not getting on this ride again unless something happens that I get to do this, or that I learn how to do this a different way. And boom, the teacher appeared. And I found my North Star. Who is your North Star? That's why the second point that I want to talk to you about today is your environment. Your environment. You can't tell me that there's any reason, except obviously medical emergencies, or God forbid, things that are beyond our control. But most things are within our control, and they start right here. Look at your environment. So everything that surrounded me, I started to change, and I started to declare it. So I want to ask you right now, if you're watching now or you're watching later, are you declaring change. Just write in the chat, I'm declaring change for my life. Because here's what happens: nothing changes until something changes. Write this down. Nothing changes until something changes. And the moment that you change, you, the person that I'm speaking to right now, the moment that you make the decision, I want to change. I'm going to change. I'm going to pay the price to change. I am hungry to change, and I'm not going to settle like I've settled all these years before. The moment you make that decision, I don't see anybody. Maybe I'm missing it. I don't know. Let me see. Am I missing people writing down? I'm declaring change for my life. Yes, the moment you make that declaration public and you start articulating it, you start speaking it into existence. You open your mouth. Don't think it, speak it. I'm going to change. I'm changing. I'm in the process of changing. Everything in my life is going to change. My career, my income, the way I do things, the way I speak, the way I walk, the way I talk, the way I appear, the way I dress, everything is going to change. I want to go through a total metamorphosis. The moment you start declaring this, guys, everything changes. Everything changes. The moment you decide that you want change in your life, everything changes. So let me break it down for you once again. The only thing that changes is everything once you decide to change. When you change, the only thing that changes is everything. But nothing changes until you change. I'm declaring change for my life. Yes. Why not? Why not? That was one of the things that I needed to. I'm going to give myself permission to change. And you know what happens the moment I gave myself permission to change? And this is why I love this journey that I'm on, because I'm going to bring it to you real, raw, and truthful. It's going to be the real, raw truth of my life. Listen, I'm not no, you know, what do they say? You're not a Coke and a bag of chips or whatever. I'm not no Coke and a bag of chips. I'm somebody that's trying to live the best life that I was created to live. That's it. Simple as that. I'm imperfect. I've got a whole bunch of luggage and baggage and junk in my trunk and everything, whatever you want to say. But the truth is that I'm always seeking. I will not settle. So before December 4th, and maybe today is your December 4th. So for you, it's not December 4th, it's January 5th. For me, it was December 4th. Before December 4th, I would tell myself, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to. No, I'm not going to. No, 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 no. And I couldn't find what I was going to do and how I was going to do it, but I knew something had to change and I was refusing to settle. So, number one, decision. Number two, your environment. You know why we don't change our environment? Because we're scared to let go, because we become attached to the familiar, to the known. It's like our security blanket. Yeah, I know I got these naysayers around me. Yeah, I know I got all these blame shifters around me. Yeah, I know, but they're still with me. What happens if I like if they go? Guess what happens? New people come in. The right people come in. You find your tribe, you find the right tribe, you find the people that were designed and created to walk with you into that next dimension. Otherwise, we stay stuck. So I made that decision, but it was tough because I was scared to let go. Nobody likes letting go. We all have the same, roadblocks, mental blocks, emotional blocks. But I understood as soon as the teacher appeared in my life that if I did not make that list of the two things that I needed to stop doing and start doing, I was not going to be able to give myself permission. And the first thing after making that decision is I needed to examine my environment. Environment is everything. More positive people in my life than negative people. more high quality people in my life than blame shifters and complainers and whiners and murmurers. More people that are willing and coachable and hungry and that align with where I'm going. More people that feed life into me and not suck life out of me. More people that value and respect us, right? More people that are cheerleading for us and not sitting there trying to stop us from doing what they've never even done and trying to tell us that ain't going to work. How do you know? How do you know? You've never done it. How do you know? So that decision is the foundation, guys. That decision, but you need your two lists. You need your two lists. You need the list of what must I stop doing and what must I start doing. And then you got to go into your environment. You got to go into every room in your home. You got to go into every closet, every space, every place. You got to go into your mind, your heart, your soul, your spirit. You've got to go into your office. You've got to not just declare that change and upgrade is coming, but people need to start seeing it. And then you've got to put the pedal to the metal, and you have to refuse. Like I had to refuse this morning when I almost talked myself out of not doing this because my limiting thoughts wanted to tell me, so beware of your limiting thoughts. And here's the thing: the people you hang around with are feeding your limiting thoughts. The people I've hung around with have fed my limiting thoughts, and that's where we have to make a decision to be around people that are going to speak life into us, that are going to help us, that are going to push us, that are going to hold us accountable because they love us, because they're willing to tell us the truth, you know? Um, and then you need to refuse to settle, refuse to let go. So I'm declaring change for my life. Great. I love seeing this. So everything, when you decide to change, everything has to change. Let me tell you, I went through a total purging mode everywhere in my life. My office, my home office, my closet, my garage, me, my mind, my heart, my soul, my spirit, everything. I'm like, Lucy, out with the old, everything. So my husband said, oh my God, I got to get out of here. You're getting rid of everything that's old. I said, everything that's old that does not serve my purpose in life. If anything is not serving your purpose, it needs to go. It needs to go. Your office looks fabulous. Thank you. Um, because change is something that we need to surround ourselves with, and then it needs to come from within. So every Wednesday, depending on, how the flow is going, I don't think I need to go beyond these 2 points today, because I know a lot of you are going to hit replay. And I want, when you hit replay, just put hashtag replay. Um, but everything begins with a decision. It all begins with a decision. You've got to make your two list. What must I stop doing? Stop yourself from doing the same thing. If you check this out, if you don't stop yourself from doing the same thing you've been doing, you're not changing. You're not changing. That's why you have to identify, what are the things I must stop doing? And then what are the things that I must start doing? I must start loving myself more. I must start believing in myself more. I must start studying more. I must start surrounding myself with higher level winners more. I must, you know, put myself in rooms of opportunity where I learn from people that have done what I'm looking to do. I must find a coach. I must find a mentor. I must find a teacher. I must find people to hold me accountable. I must give myself permission. I must light up the fire within me to the point that it just burns for everybody to see. Like, imagine your life if you decided to just light up the fire within you to the point that you are just like this huge volcano under eruption. That's what I did. That's what I did. And so today, is the beginning of something amazing, because I can't wait to hear from the people that are going to watch this now or later on the things that that are that you guys are learning, that you guys are learning. So you know what? We all need to make bigger, better, bolder, brighter declarations. Let me tell you something. When I was getting ready, I told my assistant, I said, "Have you checked on my calendar? That thing is like back to back, and I have to do it. It's not a choice. If I want my ultimate life, I have to do it." So I told her, put everybody on notice, look at the calendar, because what's on there, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And if I'm not doing that, hold me accountable. Put my feet to the fire. I give you permission. That is the sign of someone that is ready for a metamorphosis in their life. That is a sign of someone that has made a decision, made her list of the things she needed to stop doing, made her list of the things she needed to start doing, dissected my environment and everything that does not align with my better purpose, with my better version. I got to let it go. I love you. I'll see you at the top. Come with me. Call me if you need me. Send me a text. But I got to go. I'm on a mission. It's called my life. It's called my life. I'm on a mission. It's called my life. And I'm tired. I realized when I was listening to that teacher that I was holding myself back. I had believed the stupidity that people had put in my head, and it was like it was still in there. And I'm like, "What? Oh my goodness. Heck no." So, I made that decision, and changing my environment, deciding to put myself in different environments, deciding to open up to allowing myself to be in other environments, deciding to make that commitment, to understanding that I've got to pay the price, to understanding that it's going to take laser beam focus, to understanding that, you know, this is not just about making money. This is about the mission that we are all on, and it's called life. Let me tell you something. You and I are part of the most amazing vehicle on the planet for our financial future, for our professional future, for our wealth building future, for our generational wealth building future, for our life transformational future. It's called real estate. It's called real estate. Real estate in the United States has made the most amount of millionaires. And again, it's not the money, it's who you become on your way to a millionaire status, is who you become from where you are now. And I don't care if you're as broke as they come, you could get to six figures in the next 12 months. But you've got to make the decision. You've got to change the way you talk, the way you think, the way you act, the way you perform, the people you hang around with, the things that surround you. I changed my home office. I'm like, nope, this does not have the flow that I need. I need to have myself in a flow. And even though, and here's where the rubber met the road, because it's tough, guys. It's hard. This is not for the weak at heart. This is not for the lame and the blame and the complainers and the whiners. This is for people that make that decision to allow the fire within to just blow up and blow out, to become a volcano. And you know, the first ones that are going to be benefited and impacted, it's your own family. They're the ones that are going to be benefited and impacted, you know, because at the end of the day, we are part of a tribe called our family. So good, bad, or indifferent. And you may say, "Oh, Lucy, but you don't understand the family members I have." No, 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 no. Don't tell me about the family members you have. Tell me about how you are showing up at the family reunion. Oh, should tell me how you're showing up with your family members. Are you showing up vulnerable, humble, and in love? Or you're showing up ready for a fight like I used to show up. I used to show up like, let's bring it on. Let's take it outside, right? I mean, I grew up in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. So, gangster town back then. So how are you showing up? And that's why I'm telling you guys, this experience coaching is it's so powerful because it's transformational. I'm calling it the T3. There's so many levels to it. But now I realize, and here's what I want you to realize, It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter how high or how low your production has been. It doesn't matter. As of today, I invite you to declare that January 5th, 2022 is the first day of the best real estate career you have ever experienced. January 5th, 2022 is the first day of the best real estate career I have ever experienced. And I'm on my way to the ultimate experience. Who's coming with me to the ultimate experience? So I'm happy for my crew that's behind the scenes. Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you, those that are supporting this. Thank you, those that are watching. Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. I'm going to be here bringing you your coaching. With me is going to be once a week. My coaching is daily for 90 intense days with my feet to the fire. But you know what? I made a decision. I want you to make that decision. Give me a one if you're going to make that decision with me. I made the decision that I was giving myself permission to go hunt for my ultimate life. My ultimate life. I'm hunting for my ultimate life. I'm on the hunt. I'm a hungry lioness on the hunt for my ultimate life. So, guys, please share this with someone. If you got something out of it, write it in the comments. If you hit replay and you come back and you get something else out of it, just share it. Let's be collaborators. Let's be contributors. Let's just put on there, I got it. This is what you said. Now I understood it. Let's take the information from the head to the heart, and let's not only change our lives, but let's change other people's lives. So thank you so much. I'm so excited we got this going. I'll see you next Wednesday at 12. And if you've got some Spanish friends, I'll be doing this again in Spanish at 1:30. So God bless everybody. This is Experience Coaching Productivity Academy, brought to you by Lucy Q live. Talk to you guys later.